Hey there, in this video I'm going to be going over how to basically, without having to print physically a PDF and then scanning it in order to get a different size document. This came up today where a PDF was too large to upload to DocuSign. And so the agent that I was talking to was thinking that they might need to print the document and then scan the pages back in, or physically go to the client's house and get them to sign the documents before scanning in order to be able to get it done. And so my first recommendation to them was, if your document's too large to go into a DocuSign, then you can sometimes have the option to compress the file. Now, compressing the file may not always work, because with a DocuSign file, it has encryption, it has the signature certificates and stuff embedded into the form, which is one of the reasons why it's large. So if you go to an online compressor, it may not work. That being said, what you can do, for example, this document here is 6 pages. Let's say we only want the first 2 pages. We go to File and Print, or another way is Control P on your keyboard. So we go to Print. We're not printing this to the printer. So this might be my printer. We're going to click the drop down and then click Microsoft Print to PDF. If you don't see this, if you're on an Apple product, or if you don't see this on your Windows system, then you can go online and find a free print to PDF app that you can add onto your computer, and you can do it. But most Microsoft computers come with this default now. So click Microsoft Print to PDF, and then you're going to do pages. And for example, if we want 1 to 2, we can do either 1, 2, or we could do 1-2. And now let's say if you wanted 1 to 2 and then page 6, then you do 6. And that will do those 3 pages. So if we click print, it's going to pull up this, basically a downloads folder or whichever folder you've last downloaded into, and then you can just save this as example, for example. Save that. It's going to print it, the 3 pages, you can see the 3 pages now as a new file. We'll go to the downloads. There's my example, and you can see it is now 3 pages, the 1, 2, and 6, which I grabbed from this PDF. Once you've done that, then you can typically upload the document to DocuSign if it's now smaller. So if you had a contract and then all the supplements were added on, like the title, property disclosure statement, another addendum, and the file is too large, what you can do is you can use this method to then print out to PDF just the contract portion, and then do it again also for the supplement portion. That way it is separated into 2 different documents or multiple documents, and then you have the ability to upload them one at a time to DocuSign. So that's one option. Now, let's say, for example, you also want to make a modification to a to a PDF, but you don't have a professional Adobe program, and you want to do a little bit more than just like adding initials and crossouts and stuff that DocuSign allows. You actually want to make a modification. So for the example for that is if you have a FinTrack document, and it's for a client that you have done multiple deals with, and every single time you start a new web forms template kit, and then you go into FinTrack and you have to enter in all their data again. Let's say, for example, you've just done a deal with them, the address, their home address is the same, the name is the same, the ID is the same, and you just really need to change the property address on the form, and when you verify their ID, that it matches the same date. What you can do is I go to pdfescape.com/open, or when I search for it, typically it's pdfescape.com/account/unregistered. Either way works. If you search on Google and you type in PDF Escape editor, you're going to find it. It's going to bring you to this page. You're going to click Upload PDF. You're going to choose a file from a location, and here's the example of the file we just created by doing a print to PDF. And you can see now, here's the document. I've uploaded it. It's loading. Now, if you wanted to, let's say, get rid of this logo, we're going to click whiteout and then select the area, and boom, it's gone. Right? Now, if you wanted to add text, you could click the text box, and you could add in here text. Right? So you can move it around. You can double click on it, go back and edit in that block, and there you go. So you could, for example, white out the old address on a FinTrack form and the date you verified the ID, and then you could put in the new address for the document, and then you click this download button, and it's going to download the PDF document here. We open up this PDF document, and if we scroll down, you can see here's my changes. And you didn't need to pay anything for it. So this is one way that you can modify a FinTrack document, for example, very easily, very quickly, without having to go into web forms and create a whole new template kit for that transaction and then redo the whole FinTrack form. You can just modify the one that you've already have for the same client in a different folder for a different transaction. So this is an example of how you can modify a PDF document and also print to PDF, so that you can rip apart different PDF documents if they're too large, or if you just want to separate documents if someone by chance sent you a whole thing including addendums and title and PDS that you need to separate out without having to print physically, wasting paper, and then rescan. So this saves time, it saves energy, it saves money, it saves resources. So if you have any questions about how to do these kind of technical little tricks on how to save time, feel free to reach out to me. There's a lot of these things that I know that are just in my head that might pop out if you ask me a question. So hopefully this helps you when you're dealing with your clients.